Okay people, so I'm gonna try to go inside and find out how much it is. I think it's 700 Albanian leks, but I'll find out when I get in. So I have taken some pictures already, and I'm hoping they let me record. Fingers crossed. Oh wow, it's nice. It's nice and cold in here because it's quite warm outside. I hope there's a lot to see inside though. I don't know what I don't know what to expect. I mean, that's what I was going to say. I'm not sure of what to expect. I've actually not watched any videos of the inside, but obviously I'm going to show you guys what's inside, and I'll let you guys know the prices. So I think I was right in terms of time, so they do close at 8ish. Sorry, are you guys buying a ticket? Yeah. So I'm going to buy my ticket. Or do you want to be on camera? You don't
Welcome to Albania, man.
Nice, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So how much is it to go in?
You want it with camera or without camera, the price?
With camera.
Okay, 700 lek per person or €7.
Okay, yeah, perfect, yeah. 700 leks, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys, it's 700 leks.
And you're entering an atomic bunker.
Oh my days, I'm gonna get blown up, isn't it? I'm joking.
Not really, but it's of the victim of terror of communism.
So guys, I'm gonna pay
Where are you from, sir?
England.
England, okay.
Yeah.
Then careful about the ghost mix.
Yeah, 700. Albanians are lovely. They always show respect to people. Yeah, you guys are the best ever. And your food is really good.
Thank you.
Your weather is good.
Yeah, that I can say. 300 days of sunshine.
I know. Okay, take care guys, yeah? Yeah. So he's a lovely guy as well. He's going to check my ticket to make sure it's legit.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. Yeah, so we're going into the lovely, lovely bunker. So I'm going to start explaining how things work. So, okay, so these are the rooms within the bunker. And these are the things you need to be aware of. So this talks about the creation of the gendarmerie. Okay. Let's go inside. Oh my days. It feels a bit warm in here, like the office area was quite cool and nice, but this shows you that this is a real bunker, isn't it? So I think there's a lot of history, basically. So I suppose these are prominent people of Albania, and they are the ones that were in the military back then. I suppose they created the bunker for safety. So public order and safety. So from 1912 to 1914, there was a Declaration of Independence and all that jazz. So yeah, so I think them guys are like prominent military guys in Albania. It's a well-built bunker anyway. Imagine the sort of bunkers they have in Russia. Do you think they'll be more sophisticated than what they have here? Okay, so this is another room, and it talks about the police. So effective of Shkodran's police. That's so hard to pronounce. Guys, look at that, yeah, it's saying Shkodran's police. Oh my days. If there's an Albanian in my comment section, please tell me how to pronounce that properly. But yeah, so I suppose this is the police force of Albania back then. I wonder what role they played. So I think they must have played a key role as well. I suppose that's why they've placed them in here. And they talk about the Congress of Losh Jar. I need to read more on that though, to gain more understanding. But I suppose these are the various rooms in the bunker, isn't it? So this is room number 2. And I'm sure they have like VIP rooms, and I'm sure like for the big men, they'll have the best bunker, isn't it? It's usually like that, isn't it? So the VIPs will get a better room, I'm sure. So they talk about the gendarmerie during the war period. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because there was a lot of communism in Albania, isn't it? So Albania used to be a communist state. Obviously it isn't anymore, which is a good thing. Some might say it isn't a good thing either, but I'm not here to debate that. But I suppose it used to be a communist state, but now it is democratic. And it's gone through a lot, Albania. They've gone through a lot of trial and tribulations. So this is bunker number 4, deactivated. The weapons displayed in this room have been deactivated and turned into a museum object. Actually, I think this is a nuclear bunker. So that's interesting. So can you see the weapons? So I suppose what they're trying to say is the weapons here cannot be fired. They can't be lethal. So if you try shooting them, nothing happens. Okay, the border forces. Okay, let's look at the Albanian border force. The Albanians' borders were defined in 1913. So are they saying before 1913 you could easily come to Albania without being checked? Okay, by the Conference of Ambassadors in London. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder when most countries started border control, because if you think about like the former Yugoslavia, I don't think Albania was part of it anyway, but I suppose they didn't have any border, and former USSR. But I suppose at some point people started creating borders. The history of the National Police. So the creation of the National Police Force is marked on May the 14th, 1945. Oh, that's interesting. So that's literally, was that not after the World War? Oh, okay, this is an interesting place. Let's check it out. So the weapons have been deactivated in this one as well. Do you think there's any of the bunkers that have activated weapons? Okay, so I suppose this is the gas mask that they would have to wear. And think about it, a nuclear bunker, I suppose, is there to prevent you from dying from a nuclear weapon. That's what I'm guessing. So if the likes of Russia decide to come, then I'll just jump into this bunker for help. But yeah, so let's talk about the National Police again. So I'm sure they played a huge role. That's what I'm thinking. And they've got a video there that I suppose talks about communism and things like that. Okay, look at what the police were wearing back then. So, policia, that's what they say in Italy as well, policia. And they've got some walkie-talkies and things like that as well. So this guy is he's wearing a combat uniform, which was trained. So original combat uniform, which was trained. That don't sound right the way they phrased it. But I suppose it's the combat uniform that was worn back then by the Albanian Special Forces. All my days, that looks really nice. It looks really good, isn't it? Yeah? I should try buying something like this. I should have worn something like this to come here. Okay, so this is a policeman as well. So it looks like the police played a big role during them times. I hope you guys are enjoying this, yeah? I've never actually been in a bunker before. I've been to countries that have bunkers, but I've never actually been in one. But maybe I should start doing bunker videos. I'm in a bunker, yeah? So guys, I might, if there's World War III, I might shoot off to Albania. I might just decide to move to Albania and stay in the bunker. Or I'll chill with all the Albanians in the bunker. Oh, the traffic police. Do you think they're as nice as the ones in the UK? So the traffic police and the fire police. So these are two very important branches of the national police. Okay. I wonder what the fire police does though. What's the difference between a fire police and a normal police? So the fire police was created only in those cities where it was needed, as well as, oh, I suppose, yeah, if there was huge fire during them times, then they would help out. That makes sense though. Okay. So, are you guys feeling the bunker? And the bunker is well built though, because listen, I'm 6 foot, yeah? So, this bunker is significantly high because I'm 6 foot and I can walk in properly, so that's good. Okay, so this is another part of the bunker. Traffic police and fire police in action. This is interesting. So I suppose, yes, so these are the firefighters in action. Let me switch on my light for this one because we need, oh okay, it's making it worse actually. I think I should switch it off. But yeah, so this is literally the fire police, I would say, because they have fire police and they have firefighters. That's the traffic police. So do you think they had like 80 miles per hour limit back then, or do you think the limit was like 20 miles per hour? They have slow cars back then, so I'm not sure if they could do 80 miles per hour. Okay, so this is traffic police. Albania is really serious then. They take policing seriously. And think about it, Albania is a very safe country. Like, I've never felt like I'll get robbed. Like, it's safer than London, definitely. I mean, Tirana is safer than London. Look at that, so that's a phone. So I suppose that's the telephone they were using back then. Telephone only receiver. Okay, so this is an only receiver telephone. I suppose they couldn't make any calls out. Okay, very interesting. I'm loving the bunkers already. Right, okay, so we're moving on. So this is an artistic installation, they call it. I'm not sure if I can go in though, and I don't want to go in, but that looks good. So we're still exploring the bunker. Oh, this is a telephone actually. So this is an old style telephone. So if you watch like the World War II videos, for example, you'd see phones like this, you know. And I think what happens is they grab that. I'm not allowed to pick it, so I'm not going to pick it up. They grab that and they dial the numbers. So can you? Sorry, I'm shooting a video. So you dial the numbers. So you pick up the receiver and you dial the video and the numbers. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I don't think there's any other numbers left. So that's interesting. So that is this side. Let's move on. Oh my days, I didn't realize that they had a lot more rooms. This is a very busy bunker. I wonder what the capacity is. So how many people can go into all of this basically? That's what I need to find out. Okay, so what's that? So this is body freed by death. I don't know what that means. Executed because of political status. Okay, so these are the people that were killed. I suppose they were killed because of what they believed in. 5,500 people, sorry, were killed because of their political status. But I wonder what their political status was. Were they communists? Were they fascist? Were they, I don't know. 1913 all the way to. Okay, so these are just numbers anyway. That's sad though. Okay, and these are people that were all by days. So this is, I suppose, clothing of one of those body freed by death. That was freed by death. These are the people that were imprisoned for over 10 years. See, human beings have actually faced a lot in life, you know. If you think about it, a lot of people have faced persecution. If you look at this, for example, these are the people who died in prison, so these are more people. But I suppose this makes up the list of the 5,500 I was talking about. And these are the clothing of, I suppose, some that were executed, or some that were imprisoned, or some that were saved. Quite interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next room. So there's a lot more to see. Sorry, do you mind if I move in? Okay, so this is another room, and they talk about the victims here, and they died being tortured. So that's very sad. I think torture is one of the worst way of dying, isn't it? So I suppose this young lady was tortured. That is sad. So this shows the details of the violence against Hat, Leach, Tapaj. That is sad. That is sad. So if you think about it, you need to obviously recognize the reason. Alrighty, as I was saying earlier, when you talk about torture, is really, really evil, isn't it? It's so sad that people get tortured. But that lady, for example, was tortured, and if you think about it, she was a young lady back then. It seems like, so it's so sad how things were back then. But I suppose you have things like the United Nations now, so a lot of governments have been held responsible for their actions. Okay, so this is a list of the commanders and commissars of camps and prisons between 1944 to 1991. Guys, just feel free to go if you want to go, sorry. So these are the list of all the people basically back then. So I'm not sure if these are the guys that were the offenders, but I'm assuming that they were the offenders. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Because if they're talking of certain things that happened, I'm thinking, are these the culprits or are these the ones that stopped it? I don't know, so maybe not comment on that. So they're talking about death sentence and those that went missing during a certain period of time. So in the period 1944 to 1991, there were about 6,000 people that were executed in Albania. But this is crazy though, because a lot more people get executed now in certain countries like North Korea and some other countries. Okay, so we are in a new place now. So we're talking of former political prisoners. So this is where people that are sentenced with over 10 years imprisonment. Which is very, very sad. One thing that's interesting about their names is a lot of them have like Ibrahim, Idris, and names like that in front of their names. So that's interesting. So let's talk about the map location of political prisons. So they had a lot of political prisons back then, and this sort of prisons they had. So they had one called Shkoda between 1944 to 1966. They had one between 1945 to 1949. They had a lot of prisons anyway. Let's see what they had in Berat, for example. So they had one in Berat called Burgu number 9 from 1944 to 1953. They had one in Kolche. So maybe when I go to Berat and Kolche in the future, I'll check to see if they exist, or they have something that explains them. I was expecting more to be in Tirana actually, but I'm not sure when Tirana became the capital. Because all these capitals change from time to time, obviously. Okay. So the bunker is getting very busy. I suppose we're all nice and safe in this nuclear bunker. Okay, so what's this? So they're talking about the containing of secret files. Now we talk about the MI5, MI6, CIA, those sort of people. Okay, so this is the containing of a secret file of each collaborator. So I suppose they had like secret agents back then, or like the secret service, sorry, and they would obviously be in charge of secret files and things like that. Right, antique all my days. Look at that color. Jeez. You see, that's an old gun, but it still looks modern. Obviously, you can't fire live ammunition from that anyway, but it looks cool. So I suppose that's the bit that holds the bullets. Right. So these are the old telephones I was talking about. I think the old telephones were quite cool though, because if you watch like old videos, you'd see like the military men, they would have like the phones on their shoulder whilst they run from place to place. Even sometimes they run to the trenches with these sort of phones, and they dial for help, and you see like maybe the RAF, for example, saving people. Okay, let's move. So pastry making, okay, how does that relate to the bunker? They are talking about pastry making. Okay, well it might be pastry in a different context. So pastry making, the machinery that annihilated secret documents. Okay, so it's a document making thing, whatever. I don't understand that. So life of political convicted in internment camps. So these are people that were convicted of, I mean, due to their political belief, I suppose. So this is probably a lady talking about what happened in them times. I hope you guys are enjoying this, yeah? I had to bend down there. The entrances are quite short, so you have to always bend down to go in. Okay, so this is the list of devices used by Sigurimi to mask. Okay, interesting. Okay, what does he have there? That looks like a listening device, maybe. He's got there. The agent who spies. Yeah, I was dead right. So I suppose that's what he uses to record his bit. But obviously, he would ensure it's not obvious though, because that looks really obvious, isn't it? Well, I'm sure he hid it in a place where no one would find out. I would love to be a spy though, but the thing is, I would not like to get caught. That's the thing. If you get caught in the wrong country, you're a dead man. Okay, so what do we have here? The camp with barbed wire. So some places still use barbed wires anyway, like prisons and things like that. I suppose it's the best way to prevent people from trying to escape. But they had it back then as well. So we're going to go into another room to see what they have in there. Okay, yeah, talking about barbed wires, if you don't know about barbed wires, this is a barbed wire. And they tend to have this in like various fences to prevent people from escaping. But I'm not sure if they were using them back then for a different purpose. So we loaded on our shoulders the wood that our sons had cut in the mountain of Tirana for furnishing the branch, the bakery, the families of officers. Okay, so these are the main camps that had barbed wires. You see, back then people used to suffer, you know. Like I think nowadays people live a good life, but back then there was a lot of suffering. Have I been to this room? Yes, I have. So let's move on. Right. I wonder what this chair is for. It might be a torture. No, it isn't actually. It's a chair people used to sit down in when they want to have a shave. Interesting. Intersection of foreigners in hotels. Oh my days. Interesting. Do you think my Airbnb host is doing this at the moment? Do you think he's intercepting all my calls? Do you think my Airbnb host is doing that? Anyways, so this is Hotel Tirana. So Hotel Tirana was a popular hotel back then. If you go to certain countries like former Yugoslavia, you see some very old hotels that were quite prominent in the time of, in the communist era basically. So there are still some hotels that are still named what they were named back then. It's the same as when you go to like places in Moldova, Russia, places like that. The prominent hotels are always still there. Okay, so Tirana Hotel, Dashti Hotel, very nice. So this were like the key holders, I suppose, and this were the keys. I'm sure they've changed all the locks now, so if you try going to the hotel and you try to get in, you won't be able to get in. Foreign women living in Albania in 1984 listed by the Sigoroni. Okay. I need to read a bit more about this though to have a better understanding. Okay, so the death of Enver Hoxha. So this was a recorder that was used back then to record the intercepted conversations in family homes. So it's actually a thing though, because you know they talk about how if you go to Russia, the government literally listen to your conversations. They always say that. So I suppose it's true though, in some countries they were actually doing that. But what I do not know is, were they targeting, I'm sure they were not targeting every single citizen. I'm sure they had a list of targets. So that makes sense. So the interception of the regime's enemies, so I suppose that's what they do. They'll probably hide it somewhere and listen to the conversations of people. So I remember back in the days when I was young, living in Nigeria, I remember back then people used to get scared that the government is listening to them. So that makes sense. So Tirana, October 1984. That's interesting. So Albania must be very lucky now to have a country where no one listens to their conversation, no one cares about their conversation, and they can do whatever. Okay, so this is an old phone as well, but I like this though. I like the style. So see how that looks like. I need to take a picture of this actually because this looks very nice. This looks really good. Okay, so let's look at what this is. So this is the teletext apparatus used by the police forces to transmit coded messages. Okay, so that's like a typewriter, and that's a phone, obviously. Interesting. Oh my days, this looks cool. So this was probably the office of the police, or the boss of the police, whatever you might call it. And I'm sure when they were in the bunker back then, they were running things from here. Okay. Jeez, this looks good though. So I suppose this were all the officers back then. So Minister of Internal Affairs. They all look like they have money though. Don't they look like that? They look like they're all well paid. Wow, this looks really good. I like the way they've done it. It looks so real, isn't it? I mean, it is real, obviously. It's what they had back then. 3 phones. Who do you think was the guy sitting there? Like, the guy that had 3 phones. So this is the Ministers of Internal Affairs from 1913 until 1991. That's a really old TV, and it still works. So that's good. It's good that it still works actually. So let's go to the minister's bedroom. So this is where the minister sleeps. Oh my days, it's so cool. Cool as in cool, like COOL. This is nice actually. It's quite dark in the room, so let me switch on my light. You might not be able to see, but this is the minister's bedroom. That's his bed. A bit of ventilation there, so if the ventilation was built for the room to be cool, then fine. If it was built for air condition, then that's a different story. But I think they built it, I mean they must have created a hole back then for a bit of fresh air, so the minister can have a good sleep, a good night's sleep. And look at that. So was that literally like a computer back then? Because this looks like a proper computer. Okay, so that's interesting. It's interesting to see all of this. It's well worth it if you want to come to the bunker. Okay, so what's in here? So action for finding the author of anonymized letter. Oh, anonymized letter. Okay, I see. Wishing ever. Okay, that's interesting. So they were looking for the person that wrote an anonymized letter against somebody. Okay, so that makes sense. So that's the post box back then where you post letters, I suppose. Okie dokie, let's move on. But I really like the minister's room though. What I do not know is, can you take camera room observation like okay. Cool. Okay, so we've seen enough of this side. Let's move on. It's been a good look so far. I didn't realize that they had this much rooms and this much to see. I was expecting less, but there's a lot to see. Okay, so this is the police gear back then, can you see? So that's the helmet to protect their head, and that's what they used to hit people, obviously. But to stop people that are being naughty, if that was the case back then. But that's really hard though. It looks really hard. You can't actually touch it. Oh, I'm not allowed to touch it, sorry. With the fall of Berlin's wall, the Albanian communist regime began for the first time to provide its police with tools for facing democracy. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Oh my days, they've got more rooms. They've got more rooms. You guys have a lot of things to see today, isn't it? So let's see what they have in this bit. I'm telling you, this is the best I've ever visited so far in all countries I've been to. I never knew visiting a bunker would be this interesting. Well, it's actually really nice. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that one. Okay, so what's this? This is interesting. So this looks like some sort of thing that they created for a reason. Well, I don't know what it is. They've got a lot of bits here, but were they like, I don't know, like electronic bits that they come and get when they need them? Like spare parts or something. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to finish in that room. Then I'll obviously go there. But it looks like they had a lot of spare equipment. Oh my days, look at this. That is crazy. I wonder what that is. Is that just something that was built recently, or is this something that they built back then? I don't know. But this looks like a sitting area where you can watch stuff, basically. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait here for people to finish in that room, then I'll go to that room. So there's a room there that I really want you guys to see. There's a lot of goodies there. It doesn't look like we're going to finish today. It looks like a never-ending story. Never-ending story, isn't it? Okay, I think I can go in. So, this is a garden, obviously.
That is a horse and
an old garden, and this is an old temple we use as and I suppose they are trying to show us all the bits that they had back then. So this is a gas mask, obviously. I suppose if there's a nuclear attack or something, they use that. That's an old camera. That's an old antenna they had back there. Telephone, shoes or books. Okay, let's move on. Right, let's move on and see what they have in other places. I think we've covered a lot actually. Oh, decontamination room. I would like to see that one though. Decontamination room. Should we go in? Hopefully I don't get... Anyways, it's going to be contaminating. Oh, it feels so weird being inside this room. It's called a decontamination room. So I suppose what that means back then, if I'm correct. So you know, like the way they had people that didn't like people's views. Right, so as I was saying, you know, they had some rooms whereby there were certain people that they had to change their views, and the thing, by putting them in certain rooms, they get decontaminated. So this room is one of them. It's like, I don't know, it's like they might put something in like a gas tank or something, or they might put some water that has certain chemicals or whatever, and they'll wash it off. Or it might just be a nuclear decontamination room, I don't know. I'm not sure. It might be a nuclear one actually. It might be if you're contaminated by a nuclear weapon, then they wash you off. Who knows? It might be that actually. I might be getting it all wrong. I think it might be that. But I know during the German time, they were decontaminating people because they were Jewish and things like that. But I think that's a nuclear one maybe. Oh, okay. So can you see the flashing light? Can you see the flashing light? So that's an old typewriter. I don't know if this is how it was sometimes, like when they had issues with the electric. But I think that's what they're trying to demonstrate. So they had bits of the terror of the investigated person. Oh, okay, so that's what they're trying to portray. And the typewriter of the investigator. But that makes a lot of sense to me now. Okay. So this is the cell, all my days. So I suppose this is the cell they put people in, so people that have been either convicted or people that they are looking to investigate, I suppose. If it's a cell, I suppose, is where they hold people and they start asking them questions. I suppose. Alrighty, let's go to the readiness room. So what's this all about? Okay, so the readiness room, they have nothing to explain it. Room to get ready, maybe. So I suppose, I don't know who sleeps on here, but because it looks so comfortable, I'm sure it's the officers that sleep here. It must be. And they've got some documents, and they've got their water bottle, and they've got a lantern here as well. Anything that looks comfortable would definitely not be for the prisoners. The prisoners would not have anything comfortable to obviously sleep on. So these are literally documentations back then. I think these might be documents that include information about the various prisoners back then. Sorry. Yeah, I think so. So it must be documentation of the prisoners back then. There must be a very busy bunch. There's just a lot going on. Okay, let's go into this one. So is this, what's this? Okay. So, right. So this looks like an engine of some kind. So is this like a generator maybe? This looks like a generator, but there's nothing to explain it. Let's see. No. Okay. Well, it does look like some sort of generator. Book of impressions. So I suppose it's time to leave. So I'm going to sign that, I suppose, and I'm going to make my way. So I'm going to end it here because I need to sign that book. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care, guys.